What's going on, everybody? How are you doing today? It is Johnny TCG back with another video. Today I've got some Perona OP07 games for you. I really liked Perona in OP06 with the Navy Doflamingo package, and now in OP07 I've been doing a lot of playing with her in more of a Wano based package. I think there's still a lot of room for improvement and different tech choices in the deck. So let me know if there's anything I'm missing that you think I should consider. I think these are some good OP07 games for you. We got a Rob Lucci, we got a Boa. I think that you're really going to enjoy what you see. So let's get into the games real quick. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really means the world. All right, now it's time for the games. First up, we got a game against Rob Lucci from OP07. My opponent chooses turn order. I am going to go second. I keep my first hand, and I'm going to play out Momonosuke Searcher, turn 1. I can choose between Otama and Izo, and I'm going to go with the Otama. Passing it to them, I'm expecting maybe a Spandam, maybe the stage. They're going to swing 6 at Momonosuke. You gotta let that go. And then they're going to play the stage, which is absolutely brutal. That stage gives them such great value, being able to lower my characters by 2 every turn. My only option on the Otama is the Izo. Not exactly what I was looking for, but at least it is a 2k counter. I'm debating on how to spend the remainder of my Dawn here. I'm going to swing 6 into lead. They're going to take it, and I'm actually going to play out the one-legged toy soldier. This might be a misplay, so let me know what you think. My reasoning here is that if they want to pop it, they're going to play Rob Lucci, and that will force them to add cards from their trash back to their deck. And from a certain perspective, Rob Lucci's trash is a resource that is finite. So I'm hoping that if they return cards from their trash early game, late game, there may be a point where they don't have enough cards. So they do exactly that. They play down the Rob Lucci. I'm going to rest it with leader ability and swing 7 at life. That was not ideal for me to rest that Rob Lucci first, I don't think, but it didn't make a difference. I was going to pop it with Ryuma anyway. I'm not sure how that would maybe impact my opponent's thought process if I didn't rest it first. They're going to swing 6 at me, and I am going to give them the Izo for 2k counter. And then they're going to play 6-drop Sakazuki, a beast of a card, and KO my Ryuma. Now I've got 8 Dawn to work with, and I don't really have... I'm debating on what to play here, but what I'm going to end up doing is swinging 5 into lead. I almost reduced the Sakazuki using leader effect, but I realized that I shouldn't do that before I swing because that will give away my play. So I use leader ability to reduce Sakazuki by 1, making it a 5-drop. And then I'm going to play the new secret rare Sabo from OP07 to KO it. Sabo, this card has absolutely awesome art in my opinion. And a good effect on curve that was really good. Unfortunately, they use stage and they play down a Suru. Now they're going to swing with leader. 5 at my life. So now my Sabo is already down to 3 cost, and I know that it is not going to last. The rest to my next turn. They play down the Gecko. Gonna check out what they have in the trash. They do have... They're gonna play the Rebecca. I noticed they don't have any additional cost minusing in their trash, which I believe is their downfall. They were only able to get Sabo down to 3. You need to get him down to 2 for Rob Lucci. They're playing Spandam's effect, but they weren't able to get out Rob Lucci. So that was a little bit of a misplay on their part, I believe. I'm not really sure what their thought process was. Now it's my turn. I've got 10 Dawn to work with. I could Ice Age the Gecko and then play another Sabo. I could play down Suru and then Stussy. I have a couple of different options here. I'm going to go 9 at lead first. Let me know about what you think about this play. I think it was pretty interesting. Maybe the order could have been done differently. Or it couldn't have been, actually. The reason I didn't rest Rebecca was because I am going to want to rest the Gecko Moria. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Ice Age the Gecko, bring it down to 3 cost, using leader ability to rest it, playing Ryuma to KO it, and then I'm actually going to have the ability to play Sabo, cycle 2 cards. I'm going to get rid of 1 8-drop Sabo because I have another one in hand, and then I'm debating on what else to get rid of. There's no great card to get rid of right now. Maybe it was the Sabo, but I don't have any cards on field that I would be happy to KO with Stussy. So I get rid of the other Sabo, and then I pass. My character's not being able to be KO'd by leader or Rob Lucci's KO effects is absolutely huge. That is this deck's bread and butter and exactly what they want to do. And so me being able to negate that sets me in a great position. They're thinking about what they want to do. Right now, I imagine they'd want to do a Stussy play or another Gecko play, but they can't KO anything with effects. They're going to go big at Sabo, which tells me that they don't really have any answers in their hand. I'm going to use up my 2Ks. And then they're going to add a lot of Dawn to spam them, and I can 2K out of this hit too. You can debate whether maybe or not I should have just taken that hit because now I'm really low on card size. But yeah, I decided to block out of it. I feel pretty in control of this game now. I just top decked the Borsalino that is immune from KO effects, so I'll probably throw that down to have at least one blocker that can't be KO'd by effects next turn. I get rid of the Spandam pretty easily with my leader. There is definitely a better way to calculate this in terms of what I should be swinging for. I'm going to go 9 with the Ryuma. They take. I'm going to go 10 with the Sabo. And they're able to actually block out of that. Here, this might be a little bit silly, but I'm going to rest the Suru and attack into it with Sabo. The reason here is just that, hypothetically, if they were to Dawn up the Suru and swing at lead, I wouldn't want to have to take a life or use a blocker. I might as well just extend the game a little bit. I'm not feeling too pressured, so rather be safe than sorry. They're going to swing 6 with lead at Ryuma. I'm going to let it die, and then they're just going to pass. Leaving 9 Dawn up, this is kind of them waving the white flag. I think that 5-drop Sabo that prevented my characters from being KO'd really screwed up their curve and what they wanted to do. They're taking their hits to life, and I'm just going to go all in with Sabo here. And they could have enough to block out of this. Doubtful, and they actually had a pretty bricked up hand. So, GG's. Next game up, we got a game against Boa from OP07. I decided to go second. I mulligan my first hand, and now I've got a pretty low to the ground hand, which is not ideal. Luckily, next turn I'm going to be able to play out Momonosuke and Otama. So I won't search with Momonosuke that turn, but just having that body out, and maybe I find You Can Beat My Samurai, which I do. And so now my plan is working perfectly. Going to play down the Momonosuke, and next turn I'll be able to You Can Be My Samurai. 5 into lead from Boa. I take it. I get the 4-drop Hiyori from EB01. Love comboing that card with Yamasan or Ryuma. They're going to play down the 3-drop Don Quixote Don Flamingo blocker, and they're going to place their cards at the top of their deck. That indicates that they liked what they see. You love to see when someone plays a card like that and throw it, and they put it to the bottom. I'm debating on whether or not I should take out this Doflamingo blocker and just rest it and swing at it straight up. I'm actually going to use the Momonosuke Searcher and get the... I'm deciding between another You Can Be My Samurai and a Hiyori. I go with the You Can Be My Samurai. In hindsight, I don't know if I agree with that decision. I think I should have got the Hiyori for more counter. I'm going to swing 6 into the Doflamingo. They're going to have to use at least 2 cards to save it. And they surprisingly do. They give me 2 Kayas, actually. That surprised me. And then I'm going to play out the one-legged toy soldier. I did not learn my lesson from last game, and I'm being a little greedy and putting it out early. The reason I'm putting it out is so that I can use one. You Can Be My Samurai next turn, and they actually putting me. What a terrible pudding to get hit with. Now I definitely I lost a lot of card advantage. I do top deck the You Can Be My Samurai, and I get the 5-drop Sabo. Not what I really wanted to play this turn. I actually think a Ryuma would have been better, but at least it's going to let me cycle my hand a little bit. Hopefully get a Gecko or something. Nothing that I should clearly get rid of, I don't think. I end up going with the 4-drop Hiyori and the Otama. The Otama will be a great target off of Gecko Moria if I ever draw one. They're at 7 down right now. I wouldn't be surprised if I see a Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. They're going to swing for probably at one-legged toy soldier. They do. I'm going to free block here with Sabo. The reason I hesitate is because what if they swing big at life? But 1, I could really take the hit, and 2, they may be trying to bait me to not use Sabo, and then they could just remove it via other means. They're really thinking about what they want to do. They only have 4 cards in hand, so I can't imagine they have a lot of different playlines they can pursue. They're going to swing 6 at the one-legged toy soldier. Be my guest. In this case, it was basically another blocker. And then they're going to play the Impel Down Luffy. I have not seen a Boa OP07 deck that ran this card, but that's an interesting spicy tech. I'm kind of debating on how I want to handle this. I do have the Stussy that I could use to just KO it, and I could KO... Oh no, I can't because I'm at 8 down, so that's my issue. I end up going with Suru to minus its cost, and therefore I can rest it using leader ability, and then I'm just going to swing straight up big into it. This is definitely a little bit of a janky play, but I just wanted to clear it off the board and not have to worry about it, so I didn't really have any other amazing plays to make, so I just swung big. They played the starter deck, Doflamingo, the 7-drop, to bounce back Sabo to my hand. That doesn't really perturb me much. And they're going to swing 5 with Pudding. I block out of it, and then I'm going to block out, or counter out again with Suru. Maybe I could have taken one of those hits, or both of those hits, but I still have yet to hit my opponent's life. And so before... I don't want to let the life differential get too crazy yet. I played on the Stussy. KO my Suru and KO their Doflamingo, so I'm feeling pretty good. Unfortunately, blue decks do run Gum Red Rock, and so that Stussy could be bottom decked very easily, but we shall see if it sticks. If it does stick, it'll be a nice swinger to use, and it'll help me make up for lost time in terms of not being able to make them take any life. They play down the new OP7 Ace. Really interesting card. They're going to draw 2 from it, and then they return 2 cards to the top or bottom of their deck in any order they like. Really good card. 5K, or 5 cost, 6,000 power. They're going to put a card to the bottom and continue to ponder, and so they can put both cards to the bottom. I'm not sure if they can choose whether or not they want one top, one bottom, but they send both the bottom and pass. I take that life. I got a Gecko, and I'm trying to see what I could get from my life that would really make a difference. Unfortunately, I don't really have anything. I could double search with Otama and Momonosuke, but I'm not feeling great here. I'm going to do it anyway. Go with the double search. Otama just gets me Izo. I'm going to use Momonosuke, and I can get an Otama. So I'm really seeing my 2Ks this game. One down, still up. I am going to swing 6K into life with Perona. Then I'm going to swing 9K with Stussy. They take it. Not super surprising. That was the first time they took life all game. We haven't really seen them utilize bottom decking that much this game, which is interesting. Or the 7 Warlords of the Sea package. We did see them have a 7-drop and 3-drop Doflamingo, but none of the other ones. They're going to swing in a Momonosuke. I let it go, and speak of the devil, they play out the OP07 Jinbei and Gecko. So they are running a Warlord package, and they're going to draw the 3-drop Doflamingo from their trash and play out another 6-cost Impel Down Luffy. I draw into a Ryuma, and so I'm thinking I'm going to use my leader ability to KO at least one of their characters. I start my turn by swinging big with Gecko and Stussy. The Gecko attack hits, and the Stussy attack hits as well. I'm debating on who to hit with this Ryuma play. I decided to go with that Impel Down Luffy. Use an Ice Age to bring it into my leader's range. Play out the 4-drop Hiyori. Use her effect to play out Ryuma and draw a card. I get Yamasan. I think in English it's translated a mountain god. And then I'm debating on what else I should do here. I could play the 5-drop Yamasan and just have a bigger body on board to add even more pressure next turn. But then I kind of realized that, oh crap, they have a couple bodies that can swing into me. So I am going to play out the Sabo. I actually trash one Ryuma and one Yamasan here using Sabo's ability, but I think you can make the argument that maybe I could have trashed one of the Ryumas or the other Ryuma as well, as it doesn't have any counter. But I also see where my head is, where next turn I could KO one of their characters. They use Gravity Blade Raging Tiger to bottom deck Sabo and to bottom deck my Ryuma. That is really unfortunate. That just took out a lot of a lot of optimism from me. I still have two big bodies on board that they have not dealt with and won't be able to deal with because I have plenty of counter. They're going to go 5 at me at lead. I'm going to over counter here. I'll give them a 2k. I do want to protect my life a bit. They're going to go 5 with Jinbei. I'm going to give them another 2k. Then they're going to go 5 with Gecko. I can give them another 2k. And then they're going to play out Doflamingo blocker. And they're going to put set the top 5 cards of their deck. They have 2 blockers this turn, but I have some big bodies. I need to think about whether or not I want to put pressure on life or go for their board. And they are taking their time thinking about how they want to set their top of their deck. I get it though. I've been there before, so I'm going to use this time to maybe take a look at my trash. Think about what my next turn I want to do. I'm immediately going to rest the Doflamingo. And I'm going to swing 7 into one of their characters, I'm thinking. I end up going with the Doflamingo just because the swings from Ryuma or Stussy and Gecko Moria, they probably won't counter out of that. They let the Doflamingo go. And now I'm just going to swing 9 into their Gecko with my Gecko. Can't imagine they'll counter out of this. That ace has just been sitting on the board, not being used as a blocker, not being used as an attacker. I'm actually going to go 9 at life here, and they are surprisingly going to counter. I have the Ryuma to KO their Jinbei, and then I have a Borsalino that can't be KO'd. As we know, they like to bottom deck things, so I wouldn't be surprised if they have another Gravity Blade Raging Tiger to get rid of the Ryuma and Borsalino. They end up using the Red Rock to get rid of the Gecko. But I am perfectly comfortable right here. I've got a really big body on board with Stussy. I've got a 6k swing with Ryuma. I've got an unKOable Borsalino blocker. And I've got 1 2k in hand. So while I don't like only having 1 card in hand, I am not really worried so much right now. Before dawn, I expect to see either them downing up on their leader and swinging big, or them to play one of the 7 Warlords of the Sea. We could see Edward Weevil from EB01 that lets them draw a card. They're going to go with the Stussy, or add 4 down to their leader and swing 9k at Stussy, and I'm just going to counter out of that. I'm going to play the Otama Searcher and take an Ezo, just a 2k counter in this case. But then I actually realize I can lower their ace's cost and put it in my Ezo's range so I can rest it. And here I'm going to make a little push for game, actually. 8k at lead with Ryuma. I'm thinking I'm going to do 8, 9, 9. They block out or counter out of that Stussy 9k attack. This might be a little greedy here. I am debating on whether or not to go 7 into lead or do 9 into that ace just to clear their board and feel even more secure. They've only got 1 card in hand, so this is a guaranteed hit. It's just whether or not I want to go 7k with Borsalino the next turn. I do end up playing it safe and go 8k at the ace. And after all that, I am going to swing with the Borsalino. I kind of realize blue doesn't run many rushers. Even if they did have 2 swings on me this turn, if the Borsalino attack into life failed, I would still more than likely not be in a range of lethal, but just wanted to play it safe. Better safe than sorry. There's nothing they can really do here. They could try to clear one of my characters. They could try to drop a 10 drop Kaido. And they just concede. GG's. Alright everybody, I hope you enjoyed those games. Let me know what you thought of them. Did I make any misplays? Were there any plays that you thought were really good? I'd love to hear the feedback. Here's the deck list. One of the things that I think I would like to see in this deck is maybe the 9-cost Zoro from OP06. I struggle with keeping it on the board sometimes though, and that is kind of the big problem and why I'm hesitant to run it. But man, is that card good. Let me know if you have any questions on the deck list down below. I love to hear from you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm trying to reach 1 million subscribers by the end of the week. So like, comment, subscribe. I'm out. Stay tuned for more videos. Peace.